Greetings everyone, Ducky here, back with another art video. Today we're going to be doing some figure drawing practice. So, figure drawing. And I will be using a website that basically feeds me like a random stock photos and just going through figures and poses and kind of parts of the body and things, and trying to talk as I go along about the process. So when staring at a figure for the first time, it's kind of important to find, it's normally called a line of action, or you could think of it as the spine, just kind of something as the beginning framework to get you started. But it could be anything. You could begin maybe with like a line for the torso, like so, kind of the top of the torso. And from there, just establish kind of a rough framework of the body out from that, and you can always enhance this later if there's time. And this particular one's actually a bit twisted. We're going to kind of try and course correct here by going in on that. So something like that. And we want to tie in the neck to that line. So we do like a little circle there. And kind of building everything out with basic shapes first, especially if you are just figuring it out like I am, starting with basic shapes. Good way to kind of rough everything in, and then if there's time, we go in for more detail. If there's time. Aiming for about a 20-minute little live drawing session here. No idea if this is the kind of thing that will work out on the channel or not. We're just kind of experimenting, and I figure the best way to go about that is to just kind of show daily practice for now and see where that gets me with YouTube. So kind of we've established a rough line, and now I'm just kind of following the contour, the visual contour that I see on the reference, going along like that. There's something of another joint coming out here will represent like so. I've gotten kind of focused in on the torso, but we do need ideally to capture the whole figure. So let's go down on the image here and just see if we can do that very quickly, get something there. That way, if I so choose, I could come back and draw this later. It's not apparent yet. This gentleman is facing away from us is the plan, and once again I haven't quite got the angle of this right. We'll try and course correct. We really want to show that what we're looking at is that he is twisting at the waist. I don't know, I never know when sitting down to record anything whether I'll actually achieve the effect that I'm aiming for, and whether it will be an actual like video useful thing or not. Kind of off frame again. There we go. We're going to come back down to the legs. Just kind of establish roughly where they meet with the hips, noting that his left leg is in front of his right leg, so we've drawn this connecting shape a bit larger to kind of demonstrate that foreshortening. Go in on the leg itself, and kind of looking at him, I think the horizon line of this particular image is somewhere in here. Kind of important for determining how contour lines work, among other things. And if you want me to sit down and make a video about like terminology and that kind of thing, or other tutorials, just let me know in the comments. I don't really have a direction for the channel at this time. There's no plan. We're winging it. We're experimenting. And most importantly, we are practicing with the aim of improving art. Someday, maybe I'll be a pro. That's the dream, as it were. So just try and get down all of the basic bits of the figure. We can fix him later or not, depending on if there's time. and there's not time. My timer on my little program has run out, and it is showing me the next image. So I'm going to kind of guess what's going on with the foot down here. Something like that. And we're going to have to call him good. I didn't get to his arm either. So we're just going to give him a bit of an arm. Like so. Kind of take that down to around where his hip or thigh would be. And give him some little finger placeholders. Okay, so that's figure number 1. And kind of scroll manually like that. Still figuring out the camera setup and stuff. I know it's not the best, but I will strive to improve. Let's go down to the bottom left edge of the paper, kind of align it like this, and come down here. So this one, we have someone who's going to be laying on their side. So again, establishing a rough kind of line to begin following, and then fleshing out from there to what we have going here. I'm just going to add a circle for the neck for now, and we're going to try and block him out a bit differently than I just did the other guy. We're going to go in and draw like whatever shape per component seems to look about right, noting that these all have some curvature to them, and hopefully we will achieve or absolutely lose. Okay. I've lost what I was doing here. Let's try and fix that. We'll achieve some semblance of an arm. Now this visually looks totally wrong to me, but sometimes you'll start something and it will not turn out right. That's what I mean about not being sure when or if I should record, because sometimes it seems very random. I'll get something that turns out really good, and other times I'll get something that turns out not so good. And here, that is happening both ways. Let's do like that. Curvature of the chest. Okay, and this kind of comes out to form shoulder. Yeah, I really screwed up the arm here. Should have gone with a more simple shape to start. Should have just done like a cylinder like this, and then another cylinder connecting, and then flesh them out. And I could get in here like with the eraser and try and, course correct. But let's not worry about the arm. Let's capture the entire pose. The clock is ticking, and I have many things I could work on and many video ideas, stuff to do, things to demonstrate, stuff to try. Okay. So just going to kind of capture the gesture of the head on this one. Let's see how we do. There's an ear in there somewhere. Yep. His nose is out of alignment, but that's okay. He's a practice. He's beautiful in his own way. Okay. We have kind of an arm here. We're not going to make the same mistake that I did on the other arm. We're going to go simple shape, and then connect them, flush them out as needed, about like that. Just kind of going out, and then giving him the shoulder definition there. Okay. And if you're looking at this and going, man, Ducky, this is all really messy looking, you're absolutely right, it is. It is allowed to be. That's why I'm leaning toward this being a practice and demo channel rather than an exhibition channel. I'm not very good at exhibiting consistent amounts of skill. So we go down on the leg, and we're just going to, and this leg bends back on itself here, as legs sometimes do. And there's a foot in there somewhere, and there is leg. Oh yeah, that does not look quite right, does it? That's okay. We'll do a little bit better each time, hopefully. There's something to be said here, because we're working not just the skill of putting things on paper with the pencil, right? But also the skill of looking at something or someone and trying to then accurately represent them on the page. Which is all, it's two very distinct things. We're going to do like shorts of some kind here. There we go, you have shorts. So, and I've completely forgotten to give him hands, haven't I? He probably needs hands. And he really could use a new head, but it's about too late for that. So we'll do like that, and with this hand maybe it's a little more sort of upturned. Oh no, we're all wrong here. Okay, that would be pinky, other finger like so, other finger straight up, and then there's some basic shape for a thumb. Oh yeah. Don't ask me how to draw hands. We'll come back to that another time. I'm very good at drawing. I feel like I'm better than this at drawing hands when I just focus in on them, but not so much here. Okay. For our third scene, we have a lady sitting on a sort of box. So we're going to actually begin by drawing that box in a very loose sort of perspective. We know that we can see the top of it, like so. And we know that underneath all of the, because it's not a see-through box, but we're making it so, like this, just to further lend to reminding myself that this is a shape we're working on. Okay. Now we spent way too much time on the box itself. Let's move to the person. She is, of course, rooted on the box. Somewhere about there. Spine probably connects about there. And in a fairly neutral pose, although with a twisted sort of pelvis, hips kind of thing going on. Kind of one leg to the side. So let's mark that. We'll go up. Flesh her out more a bit as we go up. Okay, lower portion of the ribs, center of chest. Again, just trying to build out in very basic shapes at first. Although here we're doing a thing where I've built like half of the shape. Oh no, I'm totally off. Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay, there we go. But here, build like half of the shape around, and don't worry about the middle because there will be other things that will help that along. Then some little nubbins, little rectangle triangles for the shoulders, although this one is actually going straight down. And then connecting back in to the box we drew earlier. A little bit of a hand here. So we'll do the hand, and we'll just work our way back up that outline to produce the arm. And note that there will be a little tiny gap right in there. We'll just fill that in. Okay. Kind of fix the curvature of these lines. Do like contour lines over to demonstrate kind of how that is. This would be more handy if we were then going to take these rough sketches and work them up into clothed. Okay, this is a little complicated. The legs are crossed. So we'll do like that. Connect down to the bones of the foot here at the bottom. We need to get the camera further away from the screen. So, leg, this is left leg from our perspective, the other way. You'll see. We'll take the other leg here, which is somewhat overlapping, like so. And a little wrong on the angle there, but that's okay. Something like this. And then a foot. Some little toesies. There we go. And we'll do toe on that foot as well. Okay. Check camera to make sure we're kind of on point. And lastly, there's an arm. Another arm. What a shocker. She does have two arms. Kind of connects down. And now that I'm looking at this as a whole, I can tell you, and you can probably obviously see, the legs have ended up too small. And it's noticing that. That's the first step, of course, to trying to not do it again. Let's try and not do that again, Ducky. Don't be an embarrassment to your fancy art channel you've started here. Okay, and lastly, sorry, we're working up above here again. I've come up and connected here. And we're kind of putting in the neck, onto which we will add a head. And we'll just do kind of a very, very rough head, little eyebrows. So drawing very small here. And then give some shape to hair. Okay, the bones of a figure. Lastly, what do I have? Okay, RNG has given me man in crouching pose. So I think we're going to start this one. We'll get the page in frame here, right here. We'll start this one a little differently. Let's cordon off from our other pieces. I kind of like to divide things with like the little comic panel pane borders sometimes, just so that when I'm looking at it later, I don't mistakenly think that like these two bodies are supposed to be in the same frame, in the same perspective, because they're actually not. Like here, kind of estimating the horizon line, and here, her like midpoint or horizon line is something like that for when we come back to do contouring. But anyway, pose. We have a man crouching. We're going to try a bounding box trick here. So we've drawn our little rectangle, and we're going to put the character mostly inside this box. That's the plan, in an attempt to keep everything orderly and sane. And of course, the first step is to draw a proper box. I would say that I am only mildly disappointed in this box. It could be a bit better, but we're moving quickly. So, yep, a little bit more lead. Fit the character into the box somehow. So now that I have the box and I'm looking at him, I can see like the position of his feet roughly in the box. I know where he's standing. So we can work from that and work out the relations. And we're just going to go very simply here. Very simply, you may have noticed as I've gone, I've gotten stuck on like detailing, and then missing elements of the pose, having to do guesswork. So let's just try to figure him out in a timely manner with very basic shapes. So legs are in place, roughly. And there's also an arm, and this is going to get kind of messy just because of how much we're putting down in this area. But there's an arm and a bit of a hand here. So hand, arm, and I will get in, just cut away that bit there to make that a bit more clear. We can detail that later. Okay, neck, and then the head put inside the bounds of the box. Something like that. He is looking kind of forward. So we'll do like a little nose, a little mouth. I'm not super experienced in drawing with mechanical pencil. I would like to get better at it because my friend got me this pencil and it's very nice, but it is a challenge compared to working with standard pencils, at least for me. What kind of pencils do you guys prefer? Let me know in the comments. So it's still, looking at him, it's still kind of hard to tell that there's a pose going on here. We'll try and flesh him out with some like harder lines. But looking at him at a glance, I'm not sure. If I didn't know what the reference looked like, I wouldn't be sure what's going on. So let's try and clean him up a little. Whereas the others I've drawn large enough. The others are large enough that I can kind of, tell what each of them is doing, even if they're not all proportionally correct. But there he is, crouching man, and I think now that we kind of have him down, we're going to embellish a bit. We're going to give him a hilarious hairdo. No real reason. I'm just bored, and there is still timer to fill, so we might as well give him some magnificent hair like that. Fix that elbow a little. Fix that elbow a little. Well, that didn't really fix it, but it's fine. That's a start. Oh, I know what I'm missing. His torso right there, for one. The arm was just connecting to his face with nothing in the space in between. Very awkward for him. Could try and further indicate what's going on with him by adding some contour lines to him, although I've done those the wrong direction. That's okay. This is a very unfamiliar kind of pose for me. I don't normally do or draw crouching. I don't normally draw lying down characters. These neutral poses, of course, are easier because I'm more familiar with them. Let's see. Where is my red pen of correction? So something I like to do with my work is kind of consider what could be done to improve it. And I think, obviously here, I spent a lot of time on the arm. Oh, this pen is dead. Never mind. Let's just use this pen. So I might point and say arm. His face kind of sucks as well. So face, and here, like I said earlier, legs, length. And it's something I might try and go in and like course correct. Maybe if it were longer, how does that look? Is that an improvement? Kind of thing. Again, not aiming for hyper accurate, just trying another configuration of the bones. So I can always upload these to the tablet and, go over them in a digital program and refix things if I am so inclined. Like this line, I'm pretty happy with this part here. How that turned out. But yeah, there we go. That's a standard like figure drawing practice that I do. Oh, I said this line, but we weren't in frame. My apologies. So thank you for your patience. Still figuring it all out. But yeah, so this line is the one I was referring to. I'm pretty happy with how that line turned out, even going over it with the ink, with the ballpoint pen. Just turned out pretty good. Okay, potato wedge fingers here, but we're not at a good level of zoom to work with that. It's fine. Everything is practice, attempt, redo. You can always retry and rework. See, in doing that, I kind of screwed up another thing here. Like her legs should be curving up more, which means the whole thing, and this is all going to start looking really weird if I keep going over it in pen. Anyway, just a practice page. I can always go to the next page and try again. So, I hope you have enjoyed this little video. Maybe it was helpful, or maybe you are now more confident in your own abilities as you have seen the evidence of my various failures. So, if it was helpful or entertaining in some way, please remember to leave a comment. Love hearing from you guys. And I will catch you all in the next drawing video. If there's something you'd like to see me cover, again, let me know. I can talk about drawing with different pencils. We could do face practice. We could do hand practice. What I'm actually going to go do next is go back to drawing faces from imagination using a circle method. Of course, now that I've teased that, I feel I need to at least cover it for a moment. So we'll do this one circle here. So basically you just draw some curvy lines on your circle, like so. And the horizontal indicates roughly where the eyes will be. We'll eyeball it, and since the line is higher in the middle and lower on the ends, it indicates we're kind of looking like upward, or upward like that. So I've drawn the eyes over. If the line were down, like so, then, I don't know, I might still draw them up on this particular one. But in other instances, like this guy down here, I drew that line through him and I put the eyes low. Kind of, it's a go by feel thing. Like here with Little Muscle Man, could have gone either way. He could have had his eyes lower down or higher up, and he would have come out about as adorable and muscular as he is. So we do some eyes, we do some eyebrows, do a nose coming off of the vertical curved line. We do a face, or not a face, we do, a expression with the lips, and then kind of guesstimate how does the chin look off of this, and how does the jaw hang, kind of tying it back into the circle and the top of the head. In this case, because the sphere is not the best, we extend up a little. And then we do an ear, kind of keeping it in line with the eyes. And then, we add hair. Most characters are not bald, especially in stylized. So we'll do like that, maybe. Add some hair. And with this, because I talked before about adding in the neck as an anatomy thing, you can take this curve that we originally drew. I'll do it again up here to keep it simple. Take this curve, so we have our face kind of like that one, and just extend that line and draw a circle like that. And I'll do the jawline roughly, something like that. But that will give you your neck, that little circle there. And from there, you'll have your collarbones as two little lines. Oh, out of frame again. And you'll have the upper muscles that kind of connect to the shoulders, and then you'll have the shoulders. And you see you can kind of build a figure off of this as long as you know where the head is in the framework, and you just build from that vertical line. So too, you could go the other way and start with like a torso. Say like torso, hips, he's probably seated, so legs. And we have that line of action or line of spine. Draw a little circle, that's our neck. We know where he connects, which gives us collarbones. And just take that line up. Maybe he is looking down, we'll go this way. And then we'll go, let's see, can I do this properly? Something like that. He's a little off. He could be looking toward the camera. We do nose, we do eyes. Again, I've gone too small, and we'll just give him spiky hair. And ears, so you can really tell that he's like seated, hands in his lap, but looking up and off kind of that way. Anyway, so this is kind of head practice as well, a little bonus to the episode. But I'm recording all this on my phone, and the file size builds up very quickly. So we're going to stop here at the half-hour mark, and thank you for watching. I'll see you guys all in the next one. Ducky out.